Mrs. Anna Lee Roca. Madam Foreperson, would you please call this criminal grand jury hearing to order? So ordered. The Foreperson. So ordered. Thank you so much. Please let the record reflect that the same number and the same grand jurors who were present at our last break are present. Also present is Deputy District Attorney John McKinney and myself, the grand jury legal advisor. And Mr. McKinney advised me that your next witness is Mr. Lathan? Mr. McKinney. Yes. Okay. People call Kerry Lathan. The witness entered the grand jury hearing room. Mrs. Roca. Good afternoon, sir. Please let the record reflect that this witness is testifying from the wheelchair. Good afternoon, sir. Did you leave your telephone outside? Yes. Do you have any recording devices on you? No. I need you to please... No. Let's go ahead and have the foreperson swear you, and then I'll have you tell us your name. So I need you to raise your right hand, and that lovely lady there, she's going to swear you in. Go ahead, Madam Foreperson. Kerry Lewis Lathan, called as a witness before the grand jury of the County of Los Angeles, was sworn and testified as follows. The Foreperson. Do you solemnly state that the evidence you shall give in this matter, now pending before the grand jury of the County of Los Angeles, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God? I do. Mrs. Anna Lee Roca. Thank you so much. And now I need you to tell us your full name, and then spell it for us, and speak right into that microphone. Kerry Lewis Lathan Sr., Kerry Lathan, Lewis, Louis. Mrs. Roca. Is Lewis your middle name, sir? Yes. Okay, and did you say senior or junior? Senior. Okay, thank you, sir. There's some things that I need to go over with you before we start the questioning. The first is, and this is what I tell all of our civilian witnesses, it's very important that when you're testifying, that you answer questions that would call for a yes or a no with a yes or a no, instead of an uh-huh or yeah, which can be somewhat ambiguous. So if you forget and I say, did you mean yes or did you mean no? I'm not trying to bug you. I'm just trying to make sure that your answer is accurately reflected in our record. Do you understand that, sir? Yes. Okay. And the next is, I'm going to ask that you wait until Mr. McKinney answers, asks the questions completely, and finishes before you give us your answer, even if you think that you know what the question is, because I need to get that on the record as well. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Now, Mr. Lathan, I also need to put on the record that I have before me a use immunity agreement, and this indicates that you have signed this agreement and you are represented by a lawyer, and your lawyer is Lauren Noriega. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. Okay, and her name is on this also. And did you review this agreement? It's 2 pages with her fully before you signed it. Yes, ma'am. Okay, now I'm going to ask you questions about that conversation as to this immunity agreement, all right? But if your lawyer told you anything else, I don't want you to tell me what your lawyer said to you. Those communications are private, and unless you have spoken with your lawyer, I don't want you to tell us. And if you can't answer a question without saying, my lawyer told me, blah, blah, then you just let me know, because you're not to answer those questions. Do you understand that? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Is your lawyer outside here? She was. She had to leave. Okay. Do you have a phone number you could get in touch with her? Yeah, when I leave out, I've got a phone out there. Okay, because Mr. Lathan, if you during the course of the questioning want to ask your lawyer a question before you answer the question here, you just let me know, because I'll let you leave the hearing room so you can contact your lawyer and consult with your lawyer, and then you can come back and answer questions. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. So this agreement is between you and the district attorney's office, and this agreement indicates that you will tell the truth. And in exchange for telling the truth, anything that you say, any answers that you give to any questions that are directed to you by Mr. McKinney, if there's the possibility that there is criminal liability associated with your answer, you're not going to be prosecuted. Is that your understanding of this agreement? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And did you review that with your lawyer? I did. And did your lawyer tell you and advise you of all of your rights? Yes, ma'am. Did your lawyer tell you that you have to tell the truth for this agreement to be in effect? Yes, ma'am. Did your lawyer tell you that if you do not tell the truth, then this agreement is null and void and you can be prosecuted for anything that you state here in this room? Yes, ma'am. And you understand all of those things? Yes, ma'am. And any questions you had, did you direct them to your lawyer during your conversation or conversations with your lawyer concerning the immunity agreement? Yes, ma'am. Do you have any questions now? Can I go call her and tell her they're starting? Absolutely. I'll have Mr. McKinney wheel you out and you can just call her and tell her that we started, if that's what you would like to do, and then you'll come back in. Okay. All right. That will work. That's not going to take very long, is that correct? The hallway is right there. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So we don't need to admonish because we haven't gotten to that point yet. So we're just going to let Mr. Lathan go out and call his lawyer. Thank you. You're welcome. We're going to be in here waiting. So if you need more time, let us know and we'll take a break. Okay? Okay. All right. Deputy District Attorney McKinney and the witness exited the grand jury hearing room. Pause in proceedings. Deputy District Attorney McKinney and the witness entered the grand jury hearing room. Mrs. Roca, Mr. Lathan, did you have an opportunity to call your lawyer? I did. Okay. And were all of your questions answered? Is everything okay? Are you ready to testify? Yeah. Yes? I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Perfect. And again, if during the questioning you need to speak to your lawyer again, just let me know. Okay? Okay. All right. I think I finished asking you questions regarding the immunity agreement and just, again, you signed it, your lawyer signed it, and then maybe that's Mr. McKinney's signature. It looks really difficult to decipher, but did you sign it and your lawyer? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And if you have any questions again, let me know. All right. So at this point, Madam Foreperson, with your permission, may Mr. McKinney proceed? The foreperson. Yes, Mr. McKinney. Is he under oath? Mrs. Roca. He is. She swore him in. The foreperson. Yeah. Examination. By Mr. McKinney. Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Let's start getting a little bit of information about you. How old are you? 56. Were you born in Los Angeles? Texas. Where? Houston, Texas. Okay. When did you come to Los Angeles? As a child. Baby. Did you go to school here? I did. What part of LA did you grow up in? South Central. You were away from Los Angeles for a very long period of time. Is that correct? Yes. You were in prison from 1996 until September of 2018 based on a murder conviction. Is that true? That's true. Are you currently on parole? Yes, I am. Were you paroled in September of 2018? Yes, sir. And you came out to a very different world from the one you left, correct? Very different. When you got paroled in September of 2018, were you already aware or were you made aware of a person named Nipsey Hussle? I heard him a few times on the radio, on TV. Was that before you got out of prison or after? Before I got out of prison. And did you know he was from your old neighborhood? Not so much as that. He was a celebrity. I was looking at his celebrity status. It had nothing to do with any of that. Okay, so you knew who Nipsey Hussle was, but you didn't know he was connected to South LA. Is that correct? To that degree, no. What does that mean, to that degree? Well, I wasn't knowledgeable until after he passing, how everything swirled around, and I was like, okay. So, in other words, what you were saying is you got to know a lot more about him after he passed. Right. Okay. What I'm asking is, when you got out, before you got out of prison, other than knowing he was an artist, Did you know anything else about him? No. Okay. After you got out, did you get to know him a little bit better than you did while you were in prison? Yes. Tell us about that. Well, my play sister went up to his shop and got a whole bunch of clothes for me from him. Okay. I hadn't met him or anything, but she said, "Hey, Nipsey looked out for you. Sweats, pants, shoes." I said, "Okay, thank you." Okay, now, before you went to prison, were you a Rollin' 60s gang member? Yes, sir. Okay, and that was the gang that operated in the area that you were from, correct? Yes, sir. And is it your testimony that after you got out of prison, you got some kind of a care package or clothing package from Nipsey Hussle that I had never met? And it was a donation basically to you? Basically. All right. And that was facilitated through, you said your play sister? Nods head. So, Mrs. Annalie Roca, you're nodding your head. Is that a yes? The witness. Yes, ma'am. By Mr. McKinney. So, that's somebody you knew, correct? Yes. Mrs. Roca. So, I just want to remind you, sir, you've been interrupting Mr. McKinney before he's been able to finish his question. If you guys were having a normal conversation, that's exactly what people do. But I need you to wait just a minute and let him finish the question and then answer it, because it makes it a little harder for the court reporter if he interrupts you or if you interrupt him, okay? And I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I just want to make sure that your answers are accurately recorded in our transcript, and that's more difficult if the court reporter doesn't get the full question, okay? Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Go ahead. By Mr. McKinney. Okay, so Mr. Lathan, your testimony is, first of all, let me ask you this. When you got out and got the care package from Nipsey, were you made aware that Nipsey's from the neighborhood that you grew up in? Yes. Okay, and he gave you this wonderful gift that you were happy to receive. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Can you tell us, you got out in September. Can you tell us approximately when you got that gift from him? About 2 weeks. 2 weeks after you got out? Yes, sir. And at some point after receiving that gift from him, did you have an opportunity to meet him and thank him? About the 3rd week. So that would have been sometime in October or November. Nods head. Is that a yes? Yes, sir. Okay. Where did you meet him? In front of his store. Did you go to the store that day specifically to meet him and thank him, or did he happen to be there when you went there for some other business? Which day? The first time, after you received the gift. I went in to say thank you, and they said, "He's right there in the car." Okay, and is that when you met him for the first time? Yeah, about a month after I got out of jail. Did you take a photograph with him at that time? I did. And now, I want to ask you some questions about March 31st, 2019, which was the day you got shot in the back. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Had you met Nipsey at any time between the first time you met him and March 31st, 2019? One time. Okay, and approximately when was that? Oh, about 2 or 3 weeks after I met him out in front of his shop. Okay, so again, we're talking probably at the end of 2018, early 2019, something right in there. During that second meeting or second time you met him, was it also at 3420 Slauson Avenue in front of his shop, or was it some other place? No, it was right there. At the shop? Nods head. Yes? Yes, sir. Okay. Now on March 31st, 2019, did you go to his shop? March 31st? Yes. Yes. The day you got shot? Yes. Did you go there alone or with someone? With my nephew. And how did the two of you get there that day? In his truck. Why did you go there that day? Well, he was complaining that I'm not in prison anymore, so you don't have to wear that same shirt. I said, okay. He said, look, Nipsey's shop is over there. There you go, right there. So we got out to go inside the shop, and he said, he's right there. So my attention directed from going into it to talk to him right there. Okay, so is it your testimony that when you went to the area of Slauson and Crenshaw that day, it was your intention to go to the Marathon store, which was Nipsey's shop, to buy a shirt? A shirt. Just a t-shirt. Is it your testimony that once you got there, you saw Nipsey in the parking lot and decided to go talk to him? Yes. Did you ever go into the store that day? No. Do you recall approximately what time you arrived at the store? No. Around 1 o'clock. Around 1? Something like that. It was in the afternoon, right? Yeah.